What's up, everyone, and welcome to Season 4, Episode 34 of Girl You Know What podcast. I am Danielle.
And I'm Keisha.
And, okay, so let me just say this.
Uh-oh.
We took a week off, due to scheduling conflict. Shit happens, okay?
Oh, my God, yeah.
And, we were still trying to get, some recording time in there. And we were just like, you know what? It's really what we wanted to talk about last week. It can wait. It ain't nothing major. It's nothing that, going
And then the floodgates open.
Listen, this week, Keisha's cousins have been acting the fool. It's just
Acting
so
a plum fool.
much.
You hear me?
It's one thing after another, and it's not like little shit.
I just had to take a deep breath.
Listen, I was just like, really?
Girl.
So we're gonna stop the formality. We're just going.
Week?
It was good. It was good. Let me see. What did I do this week? I worked. Yeah, that was it. I didn't. I need to talk to you about something when we get done recording about a podcast I want to do.
Okay, absolutely.
Yes, one with me and you.
Okay.
And then it's another one that I want to do, like a solo episode that I want to do. Both of them involve my true crime podcast.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so...
Because I'm all about the crime.
Yes, so when
I love it.
Yeah, when we hang up, I got it, because this is like... Because one of them's real personal, so I don't want to...
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, so...
So my week was insanity.
Uh-oh.
It's always crazy.
Yeah.
Just this morning, someone broke into Nana's car. The Kia boys finally got her.
Yeah.
We've been concerned about this.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. They got her. They did not take the car.
Mm-hmm.
But they busted the back window and they messed the ignition up.
Of course.
So
just take it for all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
I mean, my God. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what else was I about to say? Other than that, I've been trying to keep myself positive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. I've been just trying to stay positive.
That's all we can do. I think you saw yesterday, and if people follow me on social media, I posted it on my my business page too, my DannieBSpeaks page. But I got a love-hate relationship with Boosie. Sometimes I agree with things he says, and sometimes I just think he's just a plum fool. But when he was that post I did, guess he was on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about how anger management has, helped him
change his life.
And listen, I was just like, now I've never taken anger management classes, but I do have happy pills, and since I feel the same thing.
Therapy, therapy helps.
It does.
Therapy helps.
Yeah.
Trust me, because I think I've seen my therapist. I saw her last week, and normally I try to go. I'll be like, all right, I can see you in 2 weeks. Nah, last week was so crazy. I said, I'll see you again on Tuesday.
Okay.
Like, nah, we're going to have to meet again.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to keep a peaceful, zen presence.
Yes.
And it'd be crazy.
And I'm so happy that, in this day and age, that because before people, really didn't talk about therapy. We heard, but now I'm glad that it's out there and it's so open, because...
go to therapy because you don't want to be like my clients.
Listen, yeah.
I mean, most of the issues would concern things that happen in their childhood, traumas that happen that they just have never gotten over the emotional hump.
Right.
And I think I've told this story and personally for myself. There were incidents in my own childhood that by the time I was 37, I was like, okay, this is taking a toll on my life. And I don't want my life to go in this direction.
Right.
So I have to make a turn somewhere.
Yeah.
And I've told myself, you have to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Because I had backed myself into a corner where I am the person that everyone talks to. And I don't resent that.
Right.
And I don't say that feeling like I wish you niggas would leave me alone. I don't
Mhm.
feel that way. I say it because it's the truth.
Yeah.
Um, and this has been what I didn't notice at 15 and 16. It has just been a mantle on my life.
Mm.
And I backed myself into a corner where I'm very welcoming to hear what you're going through.
Mhm.
But I have been confronted by close friends of mine's. Well, my one friend, he gonna just tell you whatever. And he
Right.
just told me, he said, you always be concerned and be asking how we're doing, but when we ask you how you are, you don't say anything. You just
Mm.
say, "Oh, I'm fine."
Mhm.
Um, and he wasn't lying.
Mm, yeah.
He wasn't lying. So I had to unload, you know, 37 years worth of shit somewhere.
Right.
You know, I had to
Yeah.
because it was becoming too much.
Mhm.
So, and again, not too much in the sense where you don't want to hear from people, but just too much in the sense where I don't think I was doing right by myself.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's not that I don't trust people. I really need to probably work on that Tuesday. It's not that I don't trust people,
Girl, listen, you preaching to the choir right now.
and it's almost an insult because it's like, well, how do you expect people to be trusting of you, and if you're so withdrawn?
Mm.
But it's my thorn in my side. It's just what I don't feel like people care.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's always been my thing too. I totally feel that. It's just like, people come to you with stuff, but it's just, and I've experienced that. It's just like, and it's not everybody, but it's just like, when you do feel like there have been people where I did, vent to them and say things, whatever, and it was just like, okay, now back to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just like, you just kind of bottle up, or
Yeah.
people don't ask you all the time how you're doing, and
And
it's,
and that's why I make it a point to ask people how they are.
yeah.
You know, I make it a point to call you and say, "How are you? You
Mm-hmm.
know, are you okay?
Right.
Like, how are you feeling? You know." And and I do that. The Bible tells you whatever you sow, you're gonna reap
Mhm.
in due time. You know, and so even though I may not feel like I have it in this season, the faith I have knows that it will come.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not going to stop doing it
Mm-mm, and you
because
shouldn't.
you're planting good seeds when you're kind to people,
Right.
you know. So there's our therapy
There
for
you go.
those two
I
minutes.
told you you
And
get everything
we're
up on
going
this
to
show.
dive head first.
Right into it.
Head first. So the first issue it's going to it's not going to be long, but it's going to be long. Not too long.
Mhm.
It's Cassie, it's Cassandra Ventura and Sean Combs. Let's
Yes.
use their government
Government
names.
names, yeah, because this is a serious matter. Very serious.
So it is a serious matter, and I guess it will come with, as they say, you have to say trigger warning before you say it. But
Mhm.
I'm going, you know, PG all this information. I'm not gonna.
Oh, yeah, we're not, yeah.
So basically, Cassie has alleged Cassie Cassandra. We know her by her stage name, Cassie,
Mhm.
and Diddy. Cassie and Diddy were in a very public relationship for, was it like 10 years?
Oh, yeah,
It was a while.
at least, yeah, on and off
It
for
was a
10 years,
while.
yeah.
And so she is now alleging, um, hold on, let me give you, these are just to name a few. She is alleging sex trafficking, sexual assault, a hostile work environment, sexual battery, and sexual harassment. That's just a few, but that's
Mhm.
just, a couple I wrote down. So the lawsuit starts off with like background on their relationship. And I'm just going to read you the list of facts that I wrote down from said lawsuit. Just
Okay.
going to read you what I have without my opinion, first of all. So this is just going to be the information. She states that she was 19 and he was 37 when they initially met. On her 21st birthday, he forcibly kissed her, and that upset her, and she was crying, she said. She said that he pursued her, and then in 2007, he picked her up and told her to take a pill, and she did take it. She found out that the pill was ecstasy. She's alleging it was ecstasy. By 2008, she's saying that he introduced her to opiates and that throughout his home, there would be drugs available, just like, out in the open. During some period in 2008, she was experiencing memory loss. She is alleging that the memory loss came from drug use and violent beatings at his hands. Her medical records, instead of being sent to her, she alleges that these medical records were going directly to his email address. She also is saying that she was in this relationship and he had this hold over her because of the 20-year age gap, his high profile, and because he had a great deal of money. She then says that a period of time came, and said a couple of years after they had been in a relationship, they engaged in what they called freak offs.
Mm.
And for abbreviation, she used FOs. They would go all over the country and have these FOs. And what these were, basically, he would get, she said they were male sex workers, and she would engage in intercourse with these sex workers while he watched. And she's alleging that drugs were supplied during these FOs and that she was physically beaten during some of these FOs. She at one point thought she had deleted all the FOs, but she had not, because they were being recorded. But she too came to understand that she had not deleted them all and that he still had some, and that he forced her to watch them while they were on an airplane. There was a time when they said a hotel caught a glimpse of this violent act on their hotel footage. Well, she alleges that the hotel room was destroyed and that he paid the hotel $50,000 for the damages and to retrieve the footage from their cameras. On her 29th birthday, she says that he held her friend over a balcony like a baby. So I don't know if that means like under the arms or like rock-a-bye baby. Like I don't know what that means, but he held her over a balcony like a baby. In 2011, there's so this was like a little longer. In 2011, she became involved with Kid Cudi. Said that I guess this was a period of time when her and Diddy were on the outs, and she became involved in a relationship with Kid Cudi. There was texting, and she would go meet up with him. Well, Diddy got her phone. He saw the text messages. He threatened to blow Kid Cudi's car up, and Kid Cudi is saying that his car did eventually get blown up in his driveway.
Mm.
Um, Again, she's saying, I feel like I forget the year, but this was the last time they were supposed to be together. They met. She thought that they were meeting for like a goodbye dinner, like the relationship is over. They were at her condo, and she says that he raped her and forced himself on her. And I don't know if she said he beat her then, but she was assaulted. Um, she goes on to say, and it looks like from the codes that this may be a civil case.
Mhm.
I'm thinking from the way I read the codes because it said California civil code.
Mhm.
I believe that this may be a civil lawsuit.
Okay.
His response through his attorneys is, for the past 6 months, they have been contacted by Miss Ventura, who has been requesting $30 million and saying she wants the $30 million or she will write a tell all book about their relationship. Of course, they refuse because they said this is blatant blackmail. So that's their response. They said now she is basing this information, it's baseless lies, and it's not true. So, so I'll be honest. I will be honest
Mhm.
because I ain't really gonna lie about shit. When I first heard it, before we got the information, like before we actually saw the lawsuit, the first thing I thought was like, oh well, she's probably broke now. Like, she probably needs some money. Like, I didn't know the number was gonna say 30 million.
Right.
I was not expecting that, but I felt like it was, about money. Then as I started to listen, and now I know people are going to be very upset with me for saying that, but I mean, anybody would think that, when you first hear it and you don't hear see the actual charges or what she's alleging. I mean, let's be honest. What does Cassie do for a living?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what her husband does for a living.
He's a personal trainer. That's how she met. And I guess he's a personal trainer to a lot of stars because I'm sure he makes very good money. He was Diddy's trainer at one point, and that's how they met.
I would never. I don't know. Okay, go ahead. You give your opinion.
Okay. First of all, I believe it. Um, so here's the thing. We've been hearing things about Diddy for years.
Yes,
And
about the parties.
about
Absolutely,
parties,
about
yeah.
parties, about sex.
Yeah.
I, I
And and now there have been so many people, and most of them are no longer with us, who have been associated with Diddy at one point or another,
mhm.
and they passed away under uh, mysterious circumstances. These people have all had something over Diddy, or they stopped messing with Diddy for certain reasons. Um, his Where there's smoke, there's fire. Let me just say that
Mhm.
because
And I'm
he
gonna go through each line and say like what is, like, okay, saying I was 19, he was 37.
right.
I don't know if that's a valid argument.
It's not because I mean, first of all, let's just take him for
You knew he
example.
was 37.
Yeah, you knew he was 37 and I mean, that's just what they do. You know what I mean? And it's not an
That's not
excuse, but
even
that's
because so I heard somebody say, well, if the age of consent was 15, these men would be sleeping with 15-year-olds.
yeah, that was on
You
that
you
video.
probably
Yeah.
you might be right. But since we live in a country where y'all gun ho on age of consent,
Mhm.
we live in a place where 18 is the age of consent. She was 19.
Right.
And again, if that is such a big deal, and because we're talking about uh and I don't want to say criminal, but we're talking about a law versus morality.
Right.
So if the legal age limit is 18, but morally you're saying you don't think she should be involved. No, 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 no. That's not what you're saying.
No.
Morally, you're saying you don't think a 37-year-old should be involved with a 19-year-old.
There's more behind that, what you're trying to imply.
So that's what they're saying. You're
Mhm.
basically saying he's 37, he shouldn't be with a 19-year-old.
Right.
But we never look at the younger person and say, "What the hell are you doing? Why do you want to be with?" Look, I like old men.
Mhm.
I have told my friend, prime example, my friend right now got a man, he's 60 years old. He like her.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't but 30 something, 35.
Mm-hmm.
She don't want no parts of that. I'll be like, girl, it couldn't be me. But see, and so there's a difference. So where was Cassie's wherewithal to say, I'm not about to be messing with no 37-year-old?
Mm-hmm. So why is it an issue now?
So like, exactly.
But
And you know what this really makes me feel like?
what?
Because now we all, there are so many women out there who done took L's in a relationship. It almost makes me feel like you want a severance package.
Mm.
You was in a relationship with a man. You did all kind of things sexually that was okay with you while you was in a relationship when you thought you had something to gain. But now when it did not go the way that you thought it was going to go, now you want to be compensated for the things that you engaged in. So is it because he has money? So should all men with money be held responsible to pay? What about Bonquisha and Larry, who in a relationship and she doing threesomes and taking all kind of rough sex and everything from Larry? Why we don't sue Larry then?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's girls out here all day taking L's in relationships. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it. I'm not here to say if he did or if he didn't do it, but
Mm-hmm.
the precedent is what I have a problem with. Because are we only saying that men with money deserve to have to pay? Just because you got money, I'm gonna sue you for what you did to me.
Right.
We need to be lining all these sorry men up then and suing them.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think that, and while you were talking that through, I think the reason why the age was brought up is because and was because it shows, and this could happen with Bonquisha and Larry. It shows that when it's trying to prove, I'm not going to say it shows, it's trying to prove a point where these older men get with these younger women and they feel like they can control them. So I think that's where in this particular lawsuit, and it was a civil suit, I just looked it up. In
Yeah.
this particular lawsuit, that's why I think it was brought up because it didn't
So
need to
then
be.
what are we gonna do about the age of consent?
Right.
So if you're telling me that, and again, I don't believe in partaking in these activities. I'm speaking to you as a person who would argue the other side of the case.
Mm-hmm.
If we're telling people that the age of consent is 19, but then when something goes wrong, we say, well, she is 19 and he's 37.
Right.
She's younger than him, so he has more influence than her. So are we gonna make the age of consent 25?
Mm-mm, they ain't gonna do
Are
that.
we gonna start putting specific parameters?
Mm-hmm.
Because how old is Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas?
Oh, I mean, there's at least a 30-year age difference there for sure.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So, where is this going to go as
Mm-hmm.
far as that? Because if we're making that an issue, now let's keep going. He gave you a pill and you took it. We done heard this story before.
Oh yeah.
Why do y'all keep doing that? I'm just gonna wait. Somebody gonna have to tell me.
I think,
Why
and I'm
do
playing
y'all
devil's
keep doing
advocate
this?
here. I get what you're saying. I'm playing devil's advocate because
Yes.
I just don't think,
Why?
because even at 19, you know better. But it's Diddy. He's this
So,
millionaire. You're trying to
so
get your
there it
career
is right
started.
there.
Yeah, it always goes back to the money. He has this money. He has power. He can give you, because she came to him as an artist. Well, not she came to him as an artist. Let me take that back.
No, it don't
She was
sound like it.
developing into an artist. He was quote unquote trying to develop her into an artist, and then a relationship developed. So I think that, and like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't agree with it or whatever. I don't even think, I'm
Yeah.
just speaking. But I think that's what it comes down to. It always comes back to the money. It comes back to the power. That's
So
what it
then
is.
who does that look bad on?
Publicly, it looks bad on him. When you look at the whole overall thing, her being, even though she was only 19 or 20 or 21, whatever, she was old enough to know better. So
Okay, so
morally,
let's go on.
it looks wrong on
Her
her.
Her medical records were going directly to his email. Let's be clear. We all done signed a form before. We know you got to sign that form to say where you want your records released.
It's control. He was definitely controlling
So my question
everything.
is, did you sign the paper?
Oh yeah, she had to.
Are her parents deceased?
I have no idea. But it doesn't matter. Look, let's take it back. So many parents, and we've seen this with the R.
We
Kelly
saw it
thing.
with R. Kelly.
Yeah, they will basically give their children, even though she was a consenting adult at legal age, they will give their children and turn a blind eye. And this even happens in Bonquisha and Larry's relationship, where
Yeah.
Larry or Bonquisha, one of them is abusive to each other, and the family is like, "Oh, well, y'all work it out. Like we mind our business. The friends turn a blind eye. Whatever." So
Yep.
it happens.
So then she goes on to say that because of the 20-year age gap, that
Mhm.
she's bringing this up in her own lawsuit.
Right. There's a reason
Be-
for it.
because of the 20-year age gap, his high profile and his money, that's why she continued on. Now,
Mm.
wait a minute, what? So that's giving gold digger vibes, but we gonna keep going. I just think I would not have wanted to embarrass myself.
Mhm.
I would have wrote the book
But
because
okay,
the book would have got you some money.
let's talk about books.
Who
So,
gonna publish it?
well, no, people will publish it, and if not, you can publish yourself.
Yeah.
So that's not the problem. Kim Porter, she was writing a book. She ends up dead.
Now I have heard people say this, but who? Where is it? Like,
There are
was she
allegedly,
turning pages in
well,
to an editor?
allegedly there are 3 manuscripts floating around somewhere. Um,
Now I don't know if I believe that because the way the internet worked, we would have seen them.
well, these were supposedly people who were like really close to her, like really, because she had a feeling that something was going to happen to her for writing this book. So, and I'm not going to get into the details about her right now, but
Mhm.
Andre Harrell was writing a book. Andre Harrell and Diddy. Andre gave Diddy his first job at Uptown Records.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Heavy D was writing a book. Heavy D and Diddy at one point were very good friends, and then when some incident
Mm-hmm.
happened or something, Heavy stopped messing with him. But Heavy was in the middle of writing a book. So, from what
I
I,
mean, I hear so sometimes I feel like we live in a rumor mill, and
mm-hmm,
I live in a space where you're gonna have to show me
right,
because
yeah, and
the
yeah, all
internet
this
is
is alleged,
swarming
yeah,
with. But until we have like tangible proof,
mm-hmm,
I just feel like you know, okay,
mm-hmm,
but I want to see it.
right,
So the FOs, I don't think I doubt this for a second,
mm-hmm,
and I want to say this to people who engage in what the country believes to be I don't think I'm about to use this word right. Is it toiletry? How you say it? Toiletry? How you like when you engage in sexual activity that people may not necessarily approve of behind closed doors?
okay,
I
yeah,
want people to be very careful about their judgments of this. I don't agree with this at all.
mm-hmm,
I'm gonna be clear about that. And I told my friends when I read it, I said he basically created his own live porno.
yeah,
Instead of watching porn, he created it.
mm-hmm.
I mean, if you really listen to it and think about
The
it,
way everything was going down in it was a fantasy.
it was like he was actually looking at a porno,
Mm-hmm.
and she participated in it. Um, I don't know, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. They ain't printed the money that a man would have to pay me or he would have to have to be my ass, and I would go back to him. They ain't even printed the money yet.
Right. But
It ain't enough.
thing, and here I go playing devil's advocate because I was doing because a friend was doing this with me because I was like, you know, trying to like really look at it even kill.
Mhm.
But here's the thing. You've never got your ass beat by somebody or
Oh
been
no.
SO'd by somebody. No, I'm saying period. But I'm saying by
Mm-mm.
someone who was a multimillionaire, because here we go back to the money. Someone who pretty much looked like they had control over you. Someone who,
And that's why I want to know if her parents are alive.
right. But you
Because
can't really, but the thing is, like I said, you can't really get into the parents because you don't know how a lot of these parents are real shady when it comes to stuff like that. So they could be alive. I get where you're going, but they could be alive. But we've seen it so much where,
and have you seen her kind like do y'all remember what Cassie's apartment looked like?
child.
Baby, he listen, listen.
Hmm.
Your price wasn't high enough. And I'm gonna tell you that for sure.
I
Your price wasn't high enough.
Right. And the thing is, like, we can say that, and this is a lot of instances. This isn't just about abuse. This isn't just about cheating, nothing like that. You can't say that you wouldn't do it.
Oh yes, I can,
No,
Danielle.
no, no. I'm saying, like, if you were in a different person's position, like,
Now that's her. I can say for me,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
unequivocally,
Right,
unequivocally.
right. She's different. She was younger. She was in a different mindset.
But
She,
see, whose responsibility is that? We cannot, and this is where, and again, I'm not taking his side because again, some of
right,
this shit, I don't agree. I don't agree. No, I don't agree with drugs
right.
and all that. And we all know I don't agree with physical violence. My mother is
Mm-hmm.
a victim of domestic violence. I don't agree with none of that shit.
Right.
But at some point, with all the friends and people around you. And now I'm putting the responsibility on the people around you.
Mm.
And this goes out to Bonquisha and Larry's friends too, because we just looking at them because
Mhm.
they are quote unquote
Oh, of
celebrities.
course, yeah.
But this shit is happening to people who you talk to on a daily basis.
But wait a minute.
This is happening to somebody's cousin, somebody's sister,
Yeah.
somebody's friend.
But to piggyback off of that you're saying right now, where are the people at? Why are all these people coming out now, or all these
Thank
resurfaced
you.
clips coming out
Where
now?
was y'all at when
Y'all,
she was getting her head
yeah.
knocked off? If he was knocking her head off,
Because now y'all are saying stuff. Now you're
because
bringing
y'all
up
just
stuff.
like her. But see, this tells me, this gives us a clear picture that money is all y'all care
That's what
about.
it comes
Money
down
is
to.
all she cared about.
Mhm.
Money is all the people who hang around him cared about.
Yep. That's all. That's what it comes. That's the point I
That's
was
what
trying to make
all this
earlier.
comes down to.
That's what it
Because
comes down
even
to.
in this instance, we
Mhm.
have learned that she has been contacting him for 6 months
Right.
asking for money.
Mhm.
All of this boils down to money.
Now I got to try to find it, but I heard something about that $30 million where she she wasn't asking him for. Now this is just from what I heard from, a YouTube video, but this person is pretty reliable. They said that she wasn't asking for $30 million. The Diddy's
Her
attorney.
lawyer probably was.
Yeah, no, Diddy's
Because I'm
attorney.
sure he was contacted through a lawyer. I
Well,
know that
yeah, but
she was not calling his phone directly
no.
asking him for the money. I'm sure he was being contacted through her representation.
No, no. Yeah,
And
well, of course. Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is nobody on her side ever asked for 30 million. To stop the manuscript, Diddy's attorney said, "We'll pay you $30 million to stop this manuscript for this book." So that's where the $30
oh
million
no,
dollars
that's
came from.
definitely not what the statement that they
Well,
released.
no, it's not the
No.
statement they released, but these are people who are like on the inside that are saying that's really where the 30 million came from. Like she like cuz when you look.
So you telling me that you offered her 30 million and she didn't take it?
Well, here's the thing. When you look in the lawsuit, yeah, now that right there. But when you look
I
in
don't
the
believe that.
no, when you look in the lawsuit, there's no figures in there. There's no money in there. If you read through that lawsuit, there's nothing that says anything about money. So, I mean, we know attorneys lie. So they can
Oh
come and
no, there's not going to be a mention of money because
right.
she gonna let the when you go for a civil case like this,
Mhm.
just like with OJ, they're gonna let them determine like the jury or whoever they go through the trial, they're going to determine the dollar amount that they give you.
Right. But then we
And
but
in most cases, it could be a higher dollar amount that you could ever think of asking for.
right. But then there we go again talking about he said she said because the attorney's saying this and people on her side are saying she never requested any money. So we don't
But
know.
did you contact him for the last 6 months?
Oh
If you
yeah.
didn't request any money.
He's been under investigation. Diddy's been under investigation for the last 6 months, and not only with her, but with other people. So it's
So
not
tell
just
me this:
her.
what were you contacting them for 6 months for?
She was sued. She said that she was going to sue them, and if she didn't, then she
So
was going to.
why would you need to call me for 6 months to tell me that? Why didn't you just do it?
No, it's been a no. 6 months ago is when the initial case, like the initial filing, like when she finally went and said something. Her attorney contacted his attorney, and
So
somehow,
that's what I'm asking.
yeah,
What were the negotiations for the 6 months?
there
You did
haven't
not
been
just
any.
call me
He's been
six
under.
months ago and say, "Hey, we're going to file this lawsuit."
But there haven't been any negotiations. The
It
thing,
definitely has, Danielle.
no, there.
Two attorneys are not going to get on the phone, especially not with somebody who got a lot of money like
Mm,
he do,
well, no,
and
what
you're not going to ask for any money.
Well, no, what I'm saying is there hasn't been any like negotiations because
They
he's
haven't
still
told
under
us.
yeah, no, well, yeah, but he's still under
That's what it is.
investigation.
They haven't told us.
Right, but no, but he's under investigation, so you really can't negotiate while somebody's under He's under investigation by the city of New York. So this doesn't even have anything to do with the lawsuit filed in
Oh, well, this is
California.
not about that lawsuit. We're talking about this lawsuit
But
specifically.
the one in New York involves her too.
Child. So that's for the trafficking, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So that's why
That's
there
for
have
the
been
trafficking.
right. That's why there have
Because
been.
she probably had to document each place
Hmm.
that they went to where she's alleging that the trafficking took place.
Yeah, but
Child.
it's not only about her. There's other like he's under investigation for other things in New York too. So I think that's why they're saying that there really hasn't been any negotiations between both parties because there's too much going on. There's
I'm gonna
more
keep
than
saying I
just
do not
this.
believe that. I don't.
Yeah, well,
I don't.
I mean,
I will not believe that because just we know lawyers is crooked as hell. I don't believe
oh yeah,
that.
and there probably wasn't like you said, they're just not telling us.
Yeah, they're just not telling
Yeah, because they're
us.
probably not supposed to be really negotiating because there's still a
Exactly.
suit.
But
Yeah.
there is if you bring a civil case forward,
Mhm.
you always gonna discuss a number.
Oh, that's where the 30 million came from. Yeah.
I'm saying from her side,
Mm.
you have to propose some number.
Especially for if it was criminal, no. For civil,
Yeah, if it's
yeah.
criminal, you can't do it. But a civil
Mhm.
case, you have said, unless you give, this is what we're asking for.
Mhm.
You don't have to pose it in a blackmail type of way.
Right.
You just slide your number across the table and say, here's what we're asking for.
And that
And they look at your number and say, we're not going to give you that.
right. Now, okay. I'm trying to put
I'm not saying she's wrong. We discussing just lawyers.
right. No, but what
I'm not about to believe that y'all went and talked to that man 6 months ago and didn't bring up no figures.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm definitely sure with that. But my thing is, I wonder why. Well, no, it makes sense now that she did a civil lawsuit instead of a criminal because this should be criminal.
Because
Everything that
she
she's a
wants the money.
yeah.
I'm gonna keep telling. I know that. Listen, I'm not taking away from any trauma
Oh
that
no, of
she
course
may have
not. Yeah.
suffered. Like I don't want people to hear this and think that I'm being an asshole.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, we gonna have to just look at what we're being presented with.
Mhm.
Let's just stick to the facts and take your emotion out of it.
That's why she
Why
filed
do
civil.
people file civil
Mhm.
cases? Because they want money.
Yeah.
Period.
Because all these charges, this should be strictly in criminal court. This should have been a criminal
Because she
lawsuit.
doesn't, that's not what she wants. She's looking
Mhm.
for a payday.
Right.
We got to just be honest about what we see.
Mhm.
And I know, and again, that's not taken away from her trauma. That's not taken away from her being a victim.
Right.
But she is seeking money.
Mhm.
And he may have been a personal trainer to stars, But once he pulled this, and if Diddy got any type of weight like y'all claim he do, who he working with now?
Mm-hmm.
You might got one or two famous clients. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Cause let me tell you this, ain't nobody probably paying you the money he was paying you.
Mm-mm.
I just pray to God that, honestly, I hope they settle it. I
Oh, they
hope he
did.
pays her.
They
Like,
did.
at the end of the day, I really hope that he pays her.
No, they did. I don't know. They didn't give any They settled it last night. The
Oh
case,
yeah.
girl, the case is settled
What is the
already.
money?
Yeah, they
See?
didn't they
So
didn't
this
give any,
further
yeah.
proves my point.
Because if you were really serious about taking him down for what he did to you,
Thank you.
then you wouldn't have settled.
It was the money.
Mm-hmm.
It was the money.
Yeah, now that disappointed me when I read that
Cause
last
she over
night.
there living broke.
Yeah.
Look, Alex may have a job, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to think. She said he was paying for her apartment. He was
Mm-hmm.
paying for her cars. He was paying for her clothes.
Oh, of course,
Everything
yeah.
she wanted, he supplied every need she had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she out there with two kids
Yeah.
by a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
No tea, no shade, but
No, but yeah.
we all know what that means.
Mm-hmm. I want to know what that settlement was. But first of all, I'm just pissed that she settled. When I saw that, I was like,
Girl.
yeah, I was just like, come on now. And it doesn't, and to me, it doesn't take away anything that she's accusing him of course not. But it still is just like, that just, that,
Because that's what it was all about. It was
from the
about the
beginning.
money.
Yeah.
So that tells me. So again, this goes back to the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They slid a number across the table. It was too high. They slid it back and said, "We're not gonna give you that, but we'll give you this."
Right.
She looked at the "give me this" and said, "I'll take it."
See.
She wanted to be compensated for what she went through.
Yeah.
He probably sent her away with her apartment that
Mm-hmm.
she probably had to pay on herself. He probably sent her away with a car and all the material possessions that she had acquired.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably wanted more. Okay, it was cute when you had one baby, then you had two, and it's like, I need some more money.
That's true though. It's true though.
I mean, it's cool. He a personal trainer. He cute to look at, but where's the funds?
Right. Especially when you're accustomed to living a certain way, especially at at such a young age.
When you was accustomed to balling,
Mm-hmm.
that ain't even comfortable living. That's like overly comfortable. Like, listen,
Right.
you was living like a queen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a princess, because Kim was the queen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Kim was the queen, so
Because he
yeah.
put you in a corner like a baby when Kim came around.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you where it really hit. I told my friend this morning,
Mm-hmm.
this is where it took a turn for the worse. When he had that baby
Oh
by
yeah.
somebody that looked like her,
Mm-hmm.
she said, "Oh, you got me fucked up.
You don't want any
You
kids
don't
with
went out
me?
here and made a
Okay.
baby, and I was with you for 10 years,
Mm.
and you didn't want me to have your baby."
But that just proves too, like what he was using her for.
Yeah, so listen,
He wanted her
baby,
as arm candy, and she couldn't be around here pregnant.
I'm going to keep telling you, young girls, listen. Get you an old man that's settled and ready to settle down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get you an old man like him.
Yeah, because he already said he ain't settling down.
You was young and you was hot. In his eyes, you was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Because what your 19-year-old self doing around here anyway? They already know what time it is with girls like that.
Mm.
And he got exactly what he wanted to get from you. And it's sad to say. It is.
Right. It is. Yeah.
It's sad to say. It is the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
It's the world we live in.
It is.
Do I honestly ever think women will be treated a certain way and revered by men?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I
don't really know.
I don't know.
I
Because
don't
things
know.
like this, it divides, people. It divides men and women mainly. And, it's just like there's never going to be a same page. And I'm not just talking about a situation like this. I'm talking about when it's something like where a woman is against a man, man against a woman, whatever. It's never, you're never going to get, because you're going to have people with two different sides of the spectrum. So there's never going to be a common ground. I shouldn't say never. I really do hate to say never. But in the foreseeable future,
Yeah,
I don't see, I don't see it.
it's gonna be hard.
It is. It's going to be very hard. Child,
Oh,
whew,
child, that just,
listen,
oh,
that was a lot
that was
because,
a lot.
yeah, and the thing was, like, that really just truly came out of nowhere. I mean, a lot of these things do. Don't get me wrong. A lot of these topics that we cover, a lot of things that we hear in the news, the blogs or whatever, they come out of nowhere. But this, I really was not expecting.
So they settled last night.
Last night, there were no details. It just said that both
So
of
we
them.
know he didn't give her 30 million.
Oh, I doubt it. I doubt it.
So he
Yeah.
probably said, I can give you five,
Let me see if there's an
or I can
amount.
give you 10. What would he be comfortable parting with? And
Right.
it wouldn't make him no difference. He probably gave her 10 million, maybe 15.
Yeah. Let me see. It doesn't say.
He probably said, I can give you half.
Right.
I can give you
Right. I'll
half
give
of
you
that.
half of that. And you got to give me the manuscript of this alleged
He
book.
might have gave her 10 because he probably said, I can give you 1 million for every year we was together.
Hey, whatever it was, whatever the settlement was, she took it, and within 24 hours of that suit becoming public or whatever. So,
Dang, girl.
yeah,
That was
Cassie,
fast.
yeah, you went out on
She
that
knew
one.
how to get that payday. Y'all better quit letting these. Listen, I'm not saying that you don't believe the victim, but we
Right.
gotta stop falling for this. These damsels in distress,
Mm.
baby, because they got an ulterior motive too sometimes.
Oh yeah, and things like this prove it. And well, I shouldn't say proves it. It doesn't make it look good when you're just strictly
Yeah,
going after money.
they
You,
know what they doing.
yeah, I mean, now you can file a civil lawsuit, for, like if you think that you deserve something or whatever because of all you went through. Okay, that's fine, but
Right.
you could have still, I mean, for everything that you were accusing him of, this was criminal.
Yeah.
Strictly, yeah, you could have filed a civil lawsuit too, but where's the criminal lawsuit for all this that was going on?
Okay.
Allegedly.
You're right. You're right. You're right. So now the next topic we're gonna be just very very kind of quick.
Yeah.
So this came straight off of the Facebook streets. And so you are an academic, you are getting your master's degree, right? Or you already have a master's degree, right? Damn.
Yeah, I already have a master's, yeah.
So you have a master's degree, I have a master's degree.
Yeah.
So we saw a post on social media.
Mhm.
Now, this was, someone who we went to high school with this person.
Yeah, uh-huh.
She made a public post. So she was honored. And to tell the truth, before she made this post, I didn't even know that she had a doctorate degree.
I didn't either. Yeah.
I had no clue.
Mm-mm.
So she made this post and she had been honored. Let's say that the event where she was honored was on a Thursday. I do believe it was on a Thursday.
Mhm.
She was honored at this event, and they had her name listed as Dr. Blank Blank. So I swear it was what? Saturday? Friday?
It was, yeah, it wasn't long.
It was quick. It was quick. Somebody mailed a letter, like some old, like, remember on Whitney Houston? What
Oh,
was
the
it? The
bodyguard
bodyguard?
when you
Like some
take the
old
letters.
bodyguard shit. Like, typed a letter out and
Child.
mailed it to her home.
Listen.
And this is just the gist because I don't have the actual picture of it.
Right.
Basically, stop embarrassing yourself. You're not an actual doctor. They may have used the term PhD or you didn't earn a. Basically, the gripe was you didn't earn a doctorate degree. You
Mhm.
have an honorary degree. You're embarrassing yourself.
Right.
Stop. Just stop. So the question becomes, and I'm going to ask you,
Mhm.
do you think it is okay to call yourself doctor when it is an honorary doctor degree?
I do. And I'm going to tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Because people get honorary things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You have like Lance Gross, the actor. He's an honorary member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. He didn't go
Is
through, yeah. He didn't pledge when he was at Howard. He got that years later, like
Oh
just
yeah, because what do
recently.
they call that when they? Is that what they call it? Like Angela Bassett and them do? They call those honorary
Yeah,
members?
they're honorary. It's something honorary, but yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
they didn't go through all the stuff that the pledges go through and everything, and
Hmm.
even like if you do the graduate chapter, they don't do all this.
Anybody, if you go through graduate chapter, but you still pay for that. Like that's
Yeah.
yeah, you still go through. Well, let me say this: you still go through a process.
Mhm.
You don't do the campus process, but it is still actually a process.
Right.
So an honorary is something you don't do any of the. They just give it to
Yeah,
you.
they just give it to you. But what's the difference between that and getting an honorary membership? Or they have honorary mayor for a day when people get the key to the city. You're not actually mayor, but you got your own day. Like let's just say this is the first person that came to mind, Ti. Let's say Ti gets an honorary. He's honorary mayor for a day of Atlanta, and he has a day in his
So
honor.
that's a day, but we're talking about you calling yourself doctor for the
When
rest
you
of
get
your
into,
life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So then when you get into the academics, there are plenty of people who didn't step foot on a college campus and they get honorary degrees all the time, and I'm sure they call themselves college graduates because they have an honorary degree.
Do you? No, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't, but I'm sure they do because they have a degree. It may be
Okay,
honorary.
so I asked other people. Like
Go
I
ahead.
didn't. I will give my opinion last, but I asked other people who also are academics who have degrees. The first person I asked has two master's degrees,
Uh-huh.
and
Well, first let me say this before you get into that.
uh-huh,
For all I went through, and I think I said this a while ago. Now,
uh-huh,
I don't think personally, on a personal level, I don't think
uh-huh,
that you should carry that title. I
uh-huh.
was answering if because other people, like you can't take it away from this person if you're going to use
Oh
the
yeah, and I
title.
don't care what other people do.
Yeah.
I mean, well, let me say this. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. You can do whatever you want.
Mhm.
So, and now that you said that, I'm going to say I asked someone today
Okay.
about this.
Yeah.
And so this person said, "Can you? Yes. Should you? No.
Mhm. I think that's where I'm at. I think
Can
that's where
you
I'm at.
mention it? Yes."
Mhm.
But they said they wouldn't. So, but she said she wouldn't go around every single turn saying, "I'm doctor this, I'm doctor that."
Right. Now,
She said, "No, I wouldn't do that." She said, "Now,
yeah.
can you do it? Yeah, you
Mhm.
can." She said, "Now, for the purposes of like,
That's the
if
point I was trying to
y'all,
make. They do it. Yeah.
yeah." So like she said, if just like in this instance, you're being honored. Like, so
Mhm.
they put Doctor Blank Blank.
Right.
She said, but like, would I lead with that? No. She
Mhm.
said, because whatever I receive that doctorate degree in, it may say that I have all the privileges and responsibilities or whatever it says on there. She
Mhm.
said, but I haven't done the actual work.
Right.
And if
That's the
I'm in a
thing.
room with other people who actually hold the degree in that thing, she said, I ain't got no business saying nothing.
Mhm.
I said, that's true. I didn't think about it that way. She said, but if I'm in a room with other academics who have earned a degree in the said field,
Right.
I don't have a leg to stand on in that room with those people
Mhm.
because I haven't actually done the coursework.
Right.
So the other person, who, like I said, has two master's degrees,
Mhm.
said, no, no, you should not call yourself doctor. You shouldn't.
Mhm.
Even if it's honorary, you should not be going around saying it. And
Right.
you know what the truth is? Until this came up, I never really thought twice about it.
Me either.
I never thought twice about it.
Yeah. I always thought that they were, like when people got honorary degrees and stuff like that, I was just like, okay, yeah, all right. I mean, what's it
I mean,
for?
my aunt, my grandfather's sister, she was on the team with Wilma Rudolph. She
Oh,
ran
okay.
on the with the Tennessee team, and she got the medal. Like they got that gold medal.
Right, yeah.
So she got an honorary doctorate degree from the University of Dayton. I
Mhm.
don't think she refers to herself as Dr. Lucinda Adams.
Right.
Like I know that she doesn't.
Yeah.
And as recently as probably 4 years ago, they wrote up something about her in Florida where she's living, and I don't believe they mentioned Dr. Adams. I don't think they wrote it up in the article.
Right. And let me say this about honorary degrees versus real degrees. You can get that honorary degree stripped real quick. So if you're going around calling yourself doctor and you get that degree stripped, then you just gonna stop calling yourself doctor?
And um, I, it was funny because I said they gave Dr. Jill Biden
Mhm.
such a hard time because she has a doctorate degree in education. I
Right.
said, but really, if you think about it, most teachers, they that's what they get. They get
Mhm.
doctorates in
Yeah.
education. Like that's how it's offered in the Department of Education.
Mhm.
So to see the hard time they gave her, I'm quite sure they're gonna give anybody else a hard time who they say
Oh yeah.
hasn't quote unquote earned it.
Yeah, I was gonna say because she earned hers and has a
Yeah,
very and
she
had a long
earned hers and
career.
did the work and
Yeah.
everything, and they still felt like, oh, you don't have a PhD, so you shouldn't be calling
Yeah.
yourself doctor.
Right. I mean, but that just goes to people's ignorance too that they just don't
Yeah, they
understand.
don't understand. Like,
Yeah. Because I mean, there were people in
so
those
my
same
opinion,
comments there were people in those same comments talking about how is she a doctor? Because there were actually people who thought that only they didn't know anything about PhDs pretty much. So you had that
oh
too.
my
But
god,
anyway, go ahead,
these
girl.
people barely read. Um,
Listen.
uh, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I just feel like because I don't want to seem offensive,
Right.
but
Because one way
it's
or the other, you
like
earned it for some reason, but it's just like, I mean, I don't know.
if it was me personally,
Mhm.
let me say it that way. If it was me personally and they gave me an honorary doctorate degree, I would not refer to myself as doctor.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Honestly, I wouldn't either. No.
It probably would make me want a doctorate degree.
Mm.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
you
Like
can
it would make me
yeah.
be like, you know, let me do something to get my own.
Mhm.
That's just the way my brain works.
Yeah.
But you know, but again, I did comment when she posted it, and I said, you can call yourself whatever the hell you want to call
That's the thing.
yourself.
That's what it comes down to.
At the end of the day,
Mhm.
but will the academics accept it?
That's the
Probably not.
thing. Yeah, because that was a straight academic who sent her that little cut up letter. No, and
Oh,
we're exaggerating. We don't know if it was like a
no, it
like the
wasn't cut up. It was actually typed though on a
yeah, it
computer
was
and
tight.
printed off.
Yeah. So,
Like,
I
yeah,
mean,
that was an academic person.
yeah, and they probably went through hell. And even if they didn't, they went through the
And
process
they
to get
probably
that
were like, oh, I didn't know she was a doctor.
Mhm.
And they probably started looking it up.
Right.
And they probably was like, honorary.
Yeah.
You know how people is.
Like
Girl,
Soldier
they
Boy
probably
honorary.
said that sent them through the roof.
That I
Baby,
mean
because
to
that
send a
letter was in
letter
all
to her
caps
home address,
to
child.
her home with no return address like
Oh, of
it was a
course
spy
not.
movie.
Yeah.
Didn't even have the decency in the corner to put like Columbus, Ohio. Like didn't
Right.
put nothing. It was just blank.
Mhm.
And I think it had a Walter Mosley stamp or like a Langston Hughes black stamp on it.
So they were well, they may not that could have been a decoy. They may not have been black. They could have made you think it
Wow.
was real undercover, girl.
I said, you got to be kidding me with this.
Child.
Why I really brought this up because I was like, oh, y'all are really going crazy like in 2023.
Oh
You
yeah.
typed a letter to that lady's house?
I mean,
What's wrong with you?
and let's just keep it real on a personal level. She obviously don't know who she sent it to because that one don't play.
Listen,
So I
don't
guarantee
play at all.
by now she probably done narrowed down to who it could have been. She probably got
Oh,
5
it's somebody
people.
she know.
Oh,
It's somebody she
definitely.
know.
It's definitely somebody she
I
knows.
believe
Yeah.
that wholeheartedly.
Uh-huh. I mean, because you can get somebody's address,
Mhm.
but it's
I
like,
believe it's
it's
somebody
somebody she
she
knew.
knows,
Yeah.
and it was something they said in the letter, and
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, you know her? You know who that is?
See.
That's a lady that girl probably done been to your house.
Oh, yeah. Probably works with you.
Oh yeah, like
Mhm.
whoever sent that is a friend of me.
Yep. And those the ones,
Cause,
y'all.
cause who cares that
Thank
much?
you. That's the thing, to go through
Why
all
do
that.
you
And
care?
that's funny because when I read her post, I was like, who cares that much? I was like, why are they doing all of this? Who
Guess what?
cares?
They probably got a PhD though.
Oh, that's
It's
yeah, I
some
believe it.
it's
Yeah.
somebody and they mad. They hotter than fish grease.
Yeah, they
If
they
they
got a
done did the
PhD.
work and
Uh-huh.
you didn't do the work,
Yeah,
and
put in
they're
all these
pissed.
years.
They are
Yeah.
pissed.
Oh, definitely. I mean, because it could be somebody petty, but I truly believe, I mean, it's petty either way, but I truly believe it's somebody who has a PhD. Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
they pissed.
Ooh-wee, girl.
Yep, girl. Well,
Oh.
let me tell you, honey, we have talked and talked and talked.
Yeah.
That Cassie and Diddy story kind of drained me. I
It's
felt
a
weird after.
lot. And there's so much more to it, and it's just
And then
like,
for me to say all that stuff and you told me that girl done settled,
yeah.
I could have started air punching.
I thought you knew. I thought we were just going to talk about it.
No!
And then, girl, yeah, she settled. They settled last night.
Child.
Mhm.
Well, she proved my point. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I was vindicated right on the spot. Because y'all thought I was crazy at first. I know people gonna listen to this, they're gonna think, oh, she always that. And she that. And then look at that.
Right.
Look at my vindication came
Right.
immediately.
And the thing, like, how we always do on this show, we're not saying that it didn't happen. We're not
No,
saying that,
no, no, no,
yeah.
no.
So,
No.
yeah, so people don't be
I
coming at,
always am curious of motives. What are your
right.
motives?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that,
Because there's a lot you can do things privately. If
yeah.
you wanted to file a lawsuit, you
Mhm.
could have did it where there was a gag order, where it was quiet, where
Right.
you could put that no release of information thing on it. You
Mhm.
could have done it in a different way
Yeah.
if you were really looking for justice.
Yeah. And I'm still going.
That's how I knew you wanted a payday,
Yeah.
because you know him. You've been in a
Mhm.
relationship. He was in a relationship with that man for over 10 years.
Yeah.
You knew what would get his buttons. You knew how to push.
Mhm. That
So what
money.
you've been doing for the last 6 months, like they said, is contacting them, blackmailing them, extorting them. I know you've been doing it now. This
For you to
proof.
settle that quick once it became public. See.
So then you gave him an opportunity, and then once you released it to the public, you knew that was gonna light his fire.
Mhm.
Because then he had to say, "Oh, she's serious. She wasn't joking."
Right. And
And
see.
he probably told his team, "Oh, we got to pay her to shut her up."
Mhm.
And what did she do? Take the money?
I mean, because look how quick things turned against him, which rightfully so, because a lot of these stories that were coming out, from people, who,
And I don't think he should be judged on his sexual perversions.
no, no,
I
you know
don't.
what? Nobody should. That's your business.
Yep. Because other people don't want, same sex couples don't want people going in their bedroom.
Mhm.
Heterosexual couples don't want people going in their bedroom. If
Right.
he into that little kinky stuff, we ain't got no
That's
business.
yeah.
Let me tell you something. This is what I hate about you millennial niggas. Y'all want to tell everybody business.
Yeah.
And I wish y'all's grandmamas would just get a switch from the backyard off a tree and beat y'all's ass.
That
And
part.
let me tell you why, because we grew up in an era where you didn't tell all your business. In
Exactly.
the words of my grandma, y'all want to spill y'all's guts.
Yeah.
Just tell all your guts. Y'all
Mhm.
need to stop
Stop
that.
it. Yeah. Cuz they live
This
out in
is
the open.
ridiculous.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to know your business. Nobody.
Mhm.
Listen when I say nobody.
Nobody. You think that shit is cute? Uh-uh. Nope.
Let me calm down. Let's
Child.
go back to Zen before we get off of here.
Right.
As always, we thank you all. And let me just put this disclaimer. If you are being abused, there are ways for you to get out. Don't you ever believe that because a man has money, that because a man has quote unquote power
Mhm.
or influence, that you're supposed to sit there and get your head knocked off. Do not do it. They have battered women's shelters for a reason. Go to them. But what you're going to have to do, and I know this, detach yourself from the material gain that you're receiving from the relationship.
Mhm.
Detach yourself from all material aspects of life. You have to, because at some point you're going to have to hit rock bottom and say, I will sleep in my car before I let this man keep beating me up.
Hello.
Like real talk.
Mm.
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath, girl.
We gotta, and friends of people who people are being abused. You call the police.
Right. Quit
You
saying it ain't
report
my
it.
business or, I don't want to get involved.
Quit being a bystander to people getting beat up.
Right.
Quit being a bystander to men getting beat up, because there's some men out there getting beat up too.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop standing on the sideline. You can give an anonymous call.
Mhm.
You can call a non-emergency line and tell what's going on. Ask the police to just stop by.
Yep. Do a little check. What they call a welfare check.
Let your friend come stay with you.
Mhm. And if you do all
Y'all
you
gotta start
can,
talking.
yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, if you do all you can and they keep going back, you did all you could.
You did all you could. Because
Mhm.
Tyler Perry, I watched Tyler Perry's documentary last night.
I fell asleep, so I'm gonna watch it today.
And if I learned one thing, it's going to be contradictory to everything that I just said. Some people just want to be left where they at,
Mhm. That's true.
because he said he gave his mother everything he could financially
Mhm.
just so she could stop being with his daddy,
Right.
just so she could stop going back. And she was with him to the day she died.
Mhm.
All the beatings he put on her, all the beatings he put on the kids,
Mhm.
and she was with him to the day she left this earth. He said she loved him.
Yep.
I don't know why she did, but she did.
Mhm.
Oh, child.
Child, it gets deep, honey.
It's rough out here, man.
Yeah. And checking the description notes, I'm gonna put the domestic violence information in the notes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, whew.
Absolutely. Well, as always, you guys can reach us at girl underscore you know what, at Wellness and Women, and at DannieBSpeaks. We hope something is said or done that will lead you to get help, and that will lead you to believe that you don't have to live in the situation that you're living in. As always, we'll see you next week or next episode, because it won't be next week.
Right, because Thanksgiving, and then there's another national holiday the weekend after my birthday. So
Boom.
we'll be back on the ninth. Well, we'll be
All
back on the 12th. But
right. Okay.
yeah.
We'll see you later. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everybody.